guys, it's Wilma. Welcome to a new video. Today I am going to be starting my new sketchbook with you guys. So if you watched my last video, you would know that I recently finished up the sketchbook that I was using all throughout last year. And so today I wanted to show you the first 3 pages in my new sketchbook. I've already done them as I'm doing this intro and I'm very happy with them and I hope that you'll enjoy them as well. I also wanted to talk a little bit about my intentions with this sketchbook, what I want it to be, and I also wanted to talk about the art, of course. So yeah, I'm gonna stop talking and we're gonna get into the video. Hope you'll enjoy. So once I had finished putting on all of the stickers on this new sketchbook, it was time to get into the first page of the sketchbook. I decided to just go very simple with the first page and I drew a cup of coffee. If you have been keeping up with me, I think I've mentioned that I've really been enjoying drawing coffee, and I feel like the first page can be so much pressure. We want it to be so good because it's the first page and whatever, and I definitely felt that pressure. So I was kind of like trying to find something to draw that would be interesting and that I knew that I could do really well. But in the end, I decided to just go very simple and draw this cup of coffee and just have fun with the first page because I don't think it has to be so serious. So yeah, that's what I ended up doing. Anyway, I wanted to start off this video talking about my intentions with this sketchbook. So I think I mentioned in my last video, and don't quote me on this because I literally don't remember anything I've ever said. So if I ever do repeat myself, it's because I don't remember what I've said. Anyway, this is my second time ever using this sketchbook, and before I was using this sketchbook, I used to use a lot of smaller sketchbooks, so I never really used anything of this size. It's not like it's huge, but it's definitely bigger than anything I had done before, which I love this size. I think it's a really good size for doing like fun sketchbook spreads and all that stuff. But anyway, so this is my second time around using this specific sketchbook, so I do have some experience at this point. Last time I was using this sketchbook, it was my first time, and so I felt like I didn't really know how to really use it. That might sound a little bit weird, like, what do you mean you don't know how to use it? You used to draw in it, you know? But I felt like I wasn't used to having this sort of sketchbook practice where I was doing finished drawings. I used to do a lot more like sketchy stuff rather than actual finished drawings, which I've talked about before, so I'm sorry for repeating myself. But anyway, so going into this sketchbook and having more experience with keeping a sketchbook in this way, I feel like I have become a lot more aware of what I want to do, you know, what I want my intentions to be, how I want to keep the sketchbook and all of that stuff. I do believe that this sketchbook will be a sketchbook that I use for like actual drawings. I probably won't do that much like actual sketching in it because I found that it was really enjoyable for me to do finished drawings in a sketchbook. When I do it in a sketchbook, it takes the pressure off on me feeling like they need to be perfect because they are in a sketchbook. So if I don't like them, I can just move on to the next page or stop drawing in the sketchbook for a little bit. It just has a very different feeling to me compared to when I'm using or when I'm drawing on a separate piece of paper. That just feels a lot more serious to me, and so I do feel like my intention with this sketchbook is that I want it to be a place where I do make finished drawings. They don't have to be perfect, they don't have to be the most serious thing ever, but I do want them to be a little bit more than just a sketch. And the reason that I want to do that for this sketchbook is because I have a different sketchbook that is a lot smaller, which I basically decided that I want that one to be a place where I just have more fun, do quick sketches, do a lot more like low pressure stuff. So this one is gonna be like, I actually want to try in this one and I want to make good art in this and more actual drawings rather than sketches. But with that said, as I said previously, I still do want to have fun in this sketchbook, and I don't think that everything that I do make has to be like perfect in any way. So one of my goals with this sketchbook is that I would love to experiment a little bit more. I think a sketchbook is a really great place to experiment because for me there is this feeling of low pressure. You can do whatever you want. I mean, you can do that anyway, but to me personally, I just feel like my sketchbook feels like the place to experiment. And so I definitely want to do more of that. And what I mean by experiment, I guess I mean I want to try to maybe do things that I haven't done a lot of, or do things that I've never done before, maybe draw things that I haven't done before. I just want to try new things and I want to experiment. So those are a few of my goals in this sketchbook. I also do want to let loose a little bit, although I do want this to be a sketchbook, as I said, that has a lot more finished drawings. I still find a lot of value in letting loose, and it's a constant struggle for me to find a middle ground between being really detailed and having more of a loose touch to my drawings. I don't think I'm very loose in my art at all, and it is something that I have been wanting to improve for so long, or not even improve, but just like actually do. And I do feel like in my last sketchbook I was able to achieve that a little bit, not maybe to the extent that I wanted to, but definitely it was something that I did, something that I experimented with. And so I think that that is one of my intentions for this sketchbook. I would like to let loose a little bit more, but I still do really enjoy my finished drawings, and so I guess we'll see how that goes. If this is just gonna be something that I say and never end up doing, I don't really know. Anyway, I thought that I would talk a little bit about this portrait that I'm drawing because I am so happy with how it turned out and the process was so much fun. So I had this reference photo in my photo album for a while, and I knew that eventually I was going to want to draw it. I think I was really drawn to the reference photo because of the haircut. Honestly, the hair is just everything in this photo. So I was like, yes, I need to draw this. And I feel like whenever I draw portraits like this, and by that I mean like portraits that I know I'm gonna enjoy, I am really drawn towards, and I just feel like I need to draw them. Whenever I draw those type of portraits, I'm like, oh my god, I love doing portraits so much. And doing portrait art is basically how I started out with doing art. I've done a lot of portraits in my 24 years of life, and it is something that I love so much, but I do believe that it's been really good for me to do other things and to step out of my comfort zone, because I feel like I definitely got to a point where I was getting very comfortable with only doing portraits, and there's nothing wrong with doing portraits. A lot of people only do that, but I kind of just started feeling this calling, and I know that sounds very dramatic, but I felt a calling to do things beyond portraits. And so I was experimenting with a lot of different things there for a while, doing a lot of things that weren't portraits. And so I haven't really been doing that many portraits lately. And so when I did this one, I was like, oh my god, I love this so much. And sometimes I feel like I don't let myself do portraits because I feel like I should be doing other things. I don't know why I feel that way. I almost feel like maybe it's because people on social media, a lot of the people that I follow don't do portraits, and so I kind of feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. I don't know, maybe that's what it is. I could be wrong. I don't always know what I'm thinking or why I do the things that I do, but I do think that that could be a part of it. But I also just feel like it's so important to try new things and to not just stick to doing the same thing over and over again. And something that I do want to do in this sketchbook is that and this is something that I've talked about in videos before, but when I do make portraits, I would like them to be different to the portraits I've made in the past. So for example, I would love to do portraits that have like different facial expressions compared to what I've done before. And in the past, a lot of my portraits have just like a straight face, like not really smiling, just like, I don't know what to call it, but you know, just like a straight face. And I think it got a little bit boring when I was constantly just doing people who all of them had the same facial expression. So I do want to experiment even more with trying out different facial expressions. And I don't know, I feel like I also stick a lot to doing art of young people. I do a lot of young people and I do a lot of women, which I don't know if that's gonna change. I do love drawing women, but maybe I'll try to do different ages, facial expressions and stuff like that, because I just don't want everything to kind of like blend in together and all be the same thing, just in different shapes. I don't know if that makes sense. But anyway, that is something that I definitely want to improve in this sketchbook. It was something that I became aware of last year, and I talked about that in a video, how I wanted to try to do portraits with like different facial expressions and stuff, because I just feel like it makes it a lot more interesting. And so yeah, that is something that I've kind of like thought about when I thought about my other sketchbook. What can I do differently in this one? And so that is going to be one of the things that I try to do differently. I feel like I have a lot more of a understanding of how to keep a sketchbook at this point. And I know that probably sounds so weird, like how do you not know how to do it? Like how do you not know how to keep a sketchbook? You literally just draw in it. But I feel like I really enjoy when there's kind of like a flow to the sketchbook, when you're flipping the pages. Not that everything is like the same thing, you know, the same subject on every page, but I do want it to feel cohesive in some way, and I'm not really sure how to do that. I just know that that's something I want to feel when I flip through my sketchbook, and so that's probably something that I'm gonna keep in the back of my mind. Not sure if it's gonna be possible to do that, but definitely something that I want to think about. That's pretty much my intentions for this sketchbook. I want to try new things, I want to experiment, let loose. I still do want to do like finished drawings in this sketchbook, but they don't have to be perfect, they don't have to be the best thing ever. I still do want to have a lot of space for myself to experiment and to feel willing to do that in this sketchbook. And I want to experiment with different facial expressions in the portraits that I do, and maybe do people of different ages and stuff like that. So yeah, those were some of the intentions that I have. And lastly, I just wanted to briefly talk about this last portrait that I did. So this was also a reference photo that I had seen. I basically get my reference photos from a group in this app where normal people send in photos, and I had seen other people paint this photo, and I thought it looked really interesting, and so I wanted to give it a shot. And this was so much fun. I feel like this opened a whole new world to me, because I don't think I've ever painted a person who has like face paint or whatever this is on them. And so in a way I feel like this is me doing a different facial expression, because yeah, her face is like just like a straight face, she's not smiling or anything, but I feel like the face paint adds so much to it. And so this is definitely an example of something I want to do more of in the sketchbook. Try new things in portraits, in the sense of it being something that I've never tried before or something very unusual. And yeah, I was very happy with the results of this, and the process was just so much fun. Anyway, I'm gonna leave you guys here to watch the last few bits of me painting this portrait. Hi again. So before we close off this video, I wanted to talk about the drawings that I did. So we have this first page, which is just this coffee cup or cup of coffee. I did this light pink background with the darker heart. Just to add something to it, I was going to leave it just a white background, but then I felt like it was missing something and I needed to add some colors. So that's what I did. I think this is super cute. I love it. I had a lot of fun with that. Don't really have that much to say about it though. And then this is a bit messy. Anyway, so these two portraits I love. I think they look really good together. They're both kind of like on the darker side, I guess, with the black hair and like the black hoodie. I love these so much. I had a lot of fun with the both of them, and I just love the results of the both of them, and I think that they look really good together. Yeah, I don't really have that much to say. I feel like I never really have that much to say because I've already talked a lot in this video. But that's the start of a new sketchbook. I also This is very random, but I love the stickers that I chose for this. I don't really like the way that my old, like the stickers that I did for my old sketchbook. Like I enjoyed the stickers, but I just didn't like the way that I paired them up. And so this one is supposed to give like very cozy vibes, I think. With this and this and this, that's all very cozy. I don't know, it just feels like what I want 2024 to feel like to me. Like nature stuff, I don't know, like camera, books, snuggling, frogs, I don't know. That is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed all of it or parts of it, or I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you did, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye. Okay, I don't know what that was.